Most of us have been asked the question, what would you do if you woke up tomorrow and you were the opposite sex? Well, if I woke up tomorrow morning and was obviously an attractive woman, I'd probably finger myself in front of a full-length mirror before panicking and checking I could still park the car. To be truthful, I think there should be absolute equality between men and women whilst acknowledging that we are different. But to be honest, I don't think I want to be a woman at the moment. Trans women, or men as they're technically known, are dominating many women's sports. On both sides of the Atlantic, medical professionals are eradicating women from the English language by stopping using terms like woman or mother and replacing them with birthing parent. Just today, the Taliban have reimposed the burqa on all women in Afghanistan. Although if you're looking for a progressive champion of women's rights, the Middle East isn't the place to look. And in the USA, there's that leaked document from the Supreme Court suggesting that Roe versus Wade could be overturned, which in effect, in 26 of the states that make up the United States of America, abortion would be illegal. Just to clarify, abortion would still be legal, but only in the first 6 weeks of pregnancy. But that's not workable. If a woman has sex just after her period, she won't know that she's pregnant for a month. Even then, she may just think she's late and leave it a few days, which gives her less than a fortnight to arrange an abortion. What in the fucking Handmaid's Tale is going on here? So when it comes to abortion, there are two main camps. There's pro-life and pro-choice. I am 100% pro-choice. I don't think anyone should be forced to bring another human being into the world. In fact, there's plenty of people who have done who fucking shouldn't have. Now, pro-life people, they will often argue it doesn't matter if a woman has the baby because the baby isn't part of the mother's body. Really? Try removing the embryo and see if it can survive on its own. That's my opinion though. Only my opinion. But crucially, my opinion shouldn't count for shit because I don't have a uterus. And when it comes to women's reproductive rights, only people with wombs should have a say in it. A common trait among the pro-life camp is that many of them are right-wing Christians who oddly enough have missed all the important things that Jesus said in the Bible. And they care. I mean, they really do care about that unborn child, that unborn baby. They are passionate and they care about it right up to the moment when it's born, then they couldn't give a shit. Then all the judgments come out. They'll say if she couldn't afford to raise a child, she shouldn't have had it. And I agree with that. People who can't afford to raise their sprogs shouldn't be having them. But it takes two people to make a baby. And the judgment is always on the mother. And if abortion becomes illegal in most of the USA, that won't make it go away. It'll just get driven underground and become illegal. And we'll go back to the happy days of women bleeding to death on tiled floors. But of course now we've got the internet, so many other women will accidentally overdose on shit they've bought on eBay. Just to balance it up, of course there are the women who get themselves knocked up just so they can live on the social. You'll see them on Facebook saying things like, "You don't know my story, you can't judge me." Let me have a guess. You were shagging round, you got knocked up by a loser who hasn't got a job. As soon as the baby was born, he realised you're a fucking psycho and did one, and now my taxes are paying your rent. Then, there are those women, and we've all seen them, who've got loads of kids, but they are so fucking rough. I find myself thinking, who in their right mind is knobbing that? I mean, there's a woman who lives on my estate. I'm not saying she's a bit of a dog, but if I threw a stick, she'd chase it. So, if the Supreme Court does roll back this legislation, that is a massive step backwards. And yes, we all know there are some tarts that use abortions like birth control. But then I also know men who've got kids with 4 different women. Why aren't they being forced to have a fucking vasectomy? Another argument from the pro-life camp is that for a girl to get pregnant, she must know what she's doing. But I don't think that's the case. Because young people today aren't taught sex education in the way which people my generation were. We learnt about pregnancy and all the technicalities when it comes to intercourse. Whereas now, there are plenty of progressive woke teachers who want to spend the entire lesson talking about their own sexuality. And I would say, if you've got someone who's proud to tell others how often they masturbate and that they're on their way to a pansexual orgy, should they be in the same room as young children? So that was my opinion. If you agree with me, that's great. If you don't agree with me, that's also fine, because as I said, I'm a man. When it comes to abortions, my opinion doesn't fucking matter. As ever, thanks for watching.